Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Divya. Welcome to Visual Vibes. In this Python course, I'm gonna teach you everything that you need to learn to start coding with Python. This course doesn't cost you anything, it's totally free for you. But if you would like to help me out, then you can increase its reach by hitting a like button, leave a random comment down below, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks in advance, and I really appreciate it. Without getting any delay, let's jump right in. Today, I will help you in knowing about Python control statements in loops. So before I start this session, I would like to mention you one thing. If this is your first visit to my channel or if you are new to the Python course, then I would like to recommend you to check out my earlier sessions of this video first and then come back here for better understanding um, before getting into the new concepts and to follow some sequence. So now let's see the control statements in loops. So in our previous session, we have seen loop statements, right? So loop statements are the ones which are used to execute the set of statements repeatedly for the specified number of times or n number of times till a particular condition is satisfied. So similarly, in the loops are used to execute some set of statements. But suppose if you want to control those loops execution, then we can make use of control statements in Python. So these are the ones that are used to modify or control the loops execution flow. So these statements gives you the control over when to stop the execution or when to skip some iterations or current iterations or when to pause some of the execution statements. So loop statements are the ones that are used to execute the statements, whereas control statements in loops are the ones which are used to control the execution of the flow. So we have three types of control statements in Python. One is break statement, continue statement, and pass statement. Let's see each one of the statement in detail. First one is break statement. Generally, break means stop, right? So whenever we make use of this break statement inside the loop, then what it will do means it whenever the particular condition is satisfied or met, it immediately exits from the loop. Like whatever the statements are there inside the loop, it will not execute those statements. Instead, what it will do means whenever the condition is satisfied, it immediately exits from the loop by stopping the execution of the statements. So here is the syntax of the break statement. So this is the keyword that we need to use inside the loops whenever the time we want to stop the execution. So here I have given two examples of break statement, like how we can use the break statement inside for loop as well as in while loop. So here if you can see, I want to iterate over the range of 5 numbers. So inside the loop, I want to check one condition where if the I value becomes 3, then I want to stop the execution. Stop the execution means here I want to stop printing the value of 5 by immediately exiting from the loop. So if you can see the output here, so when the I value becomes 1, so it comes here. Here since the I value initially not equals to 3, so it directly prints the value of 5 which is 0 initially. So next I value becomes 1. So here inside the loop, it will come inside the loop and it will check this condition. This condition fails, so it will print the value of 5 which is 1. And similarly, when the I value next becomes 2, so here it will check the condition again. I value if this condition is not satisfied, so it will print the value of 2 and then again I value gets incremented. Now the I value becomes 3. This time this condition is satisfied. So here it will print the value of since the I value condition since the condition is satisfied. So the Python compiler will see this keyword break and then it will come out of this condition and then it will stop executing this statement and it will come out of this for loop immediately. Suppose if we have some set of statements after this for loop, then those statements will be executed since we don't have. So here the flow gets ended. So that's why it is able to print the value of 5 from 0 to 2. So similarly, inside the while loop, so if you see the example of while loop, here I have given the value of initializer the value of I, and then I was checking the condition using the while loop. While I less than 5, inside the while loop, I have given one condition. If I value becomes 3, I want to break the or exit from the loop, stop the execution. So after this condition, I am printing the value of 5. Since in while loop, for loop, in for loop, I value automatically becomes incremented, but in while loop, we only need to take care of the incrementation. So that's why I was incrementing the value of 5 by 1. So here, same, whenever the I value becomes 0, it doesn't satisfy the condition, it will try to bring the value of 5, and then I value gets incremented to 1. 1 less than 5, 1 less than 5 condition is satisfied. 1 not equal to 3, so the condition is becomes false, and then it will print the value of 1. Same again, the value gets incremented. Now the I value becomes 2, 2 less than 5. Condition is satisfied, it will print the value of 5, and it's the I value gets incremented. Next, the I value becomes 3, 3 less than 5. Condition is satisfied, but here 3 value becomes equals to 3. So the Python compiler will see this break keyword. So immediately it stops executing this statement, and then it comes out of this while loop. See here, it stopped executing these two statements, not only this one. So incrementation also will get stopped. So immediately it will come out of this while loop. So that's why 0, 1, 2 are the values that we have printed here. So this is how the break statement will work inside for and while loops. Now, of course, we can make use of this while break statement in any kind of loops like nested loops, infinite while loops, whatever the loops we can make use of this break statement. Now let's see the continue statement. So break statement immediately stops the execution and exits from the loop, right? Whereas the continue statement will skip the current iteration. So whatever the iteration that is going on, it immediately stops. I can say it skips the current iteration and then proceeds to the next iteration of the loop. So here is the syntax. The keyword that we're gonna use to skip the iteration is continue. And here I have given two examples, same for loop as well as while loop. Now let's see the working of continuous statement in the for loop. So here same, I have given same example I have taken so that it's easy for you to understand. So here I have taken the for loop to iterate over the range of 5 numbers, and then inside the for loop I was checking whether I divided by 2 equals to 0. So if this condition is satisfied, I want to skip this iteration. So for that I have used the continue keyword, and after this if conditional statement I'm printing the value of 5. So so whenever the I value becomes 0, 0 divided by 2. So here the condition is not satisfied. Condition becomes satisfied only, right? 0 divided by 2 is equals to 0. So it skips the iteration. So that means the value of 5 will not be printed here. So it moves on to the next kind of iteration. So now the I value becomes 1. So 1 divided by 2 not equals to 0. So it comes out of this if conditional statement since the condition is not satisfied, and then it brings the value of 5, which is 1. And again, next time the I value becomes 2. So inside it, I value becomes 2, it comes inside the loop, and 2 divided by 2 is equals to 0. So condition is satisfied. So it skips the iteration, and so that it will not print the value of 2. Next time the I value becomes 3. So the 3 divided by 2 condition is not satisfied. So it will print the value of 2, print the value of 3. So like this, the for loop continues, and then it will print the values of I. So if you can see the example for while loop, example of continuous statement in while loop. So here I have initialized the value of I to 0, and then I have given the condition for the while loop checking I value is less than 3. So inside the loop, I was checking the condition if I value becomes 3, I'm gonna increment the value of I, and then I'm just using this continuous statement to skip this iteration. And after this if conditional statement, I want to print the value of 5. And then lastly, inside in while loop, lastly we need to increment the value of I, right? So that's why I was incrementing. So why I have used the incrementation inside this conditional statement also means, so whenever I value becomes 3, right? So it initially, what it will do, it will skip this iteration and it will not print and it will not execute this two sets of statements, right? So if it will not execute this two sets of statements means, then I value will not be incremented. If I value will not be incremented means then the condition gets repeated and then it will become infinite while loop. So that's why whenever we want to use the continuous statement inside the while loop, we need to make sure that we need to increment the value of that particular variable inside that condition as well before we're gonna use the continuous statement. So similarly, you already know, like whenever the I value becomes 0, the condition is satisfied. and it comes inside the loop, it will check this condition. So this condition, this if condition will not be satisfied since 0 value not equal to 3. So it jumps out of the if conditional statement and it will print the value of I, which is 0, and then it will increment the value to 1. So next to I value becomes 1. So like this, it will keep on iterate this. It will keep on execute the value. So whenever the I value becomes 3, right? So it comes inside the loop. I value it sees the I value becomes 3, and then it will increment the value of 3 to 4, and then it will skip the iteration so that so these statements will not be printed. So that's why here we don't have the value of 3 gets printed here. Since it skip the iteration, it comes out of the loop. So lastly, the I value becomes 4. So 4 less than, like lastly, I value becomes 5, right? So 5 less than 5, the condition becomes not satisfied. So the while loop gets ended here. So it will print all the values of 5 from 0 to 4 um, by skipping the iteration of the value of I having the value as 3. So this is how the continuous statement works in for loop as well as while loop. Now let's see the last statement, pass statement. So pass statement is the one that doesn't have any relationship with continue as well as break statement. It is a bit different actually. So it is a null operation, means that does nothing when executed. So if you want to do something, we need to make use of statements, right? But if you want to, but if you don't want, suppose if you want to do nothing means, then only we have one statement in Python, that is pass statement. So whenever the condition becomes satisfied, if we don't want to do nothing, or I can say like suppose if you have some code with two sets of conditions. For now, if you want to handle one situation only, you don't want to handle second situation for now. So so simply you can handle the first condition, whatever the statements that you want to execute for that particular first set of condition, you can write the code for that particular kind of first condition. So for the second condition, you don't want to do nothing for now. Maybe you want to do, or you want to plan to write some code in the future. So in that case, we can make use of pass statement inside that condition so that it will do nothing, but it acts as a placeholder for the code that you plan to write in the future. So here the syntax for the pass statement here is this one. So we're going to use the keyword as pass. And similarly, same, I have given the examples for this pass statement in for loop as well as while loop. So here same, I want to iterate over a range of 4 numbers. Whenever I value becomes 3, I don't want to handle this situation for now, or condition, I don't want to handle this condition for now. So simply I have used pass statement so that it will does nothing, but it prints the value of 5. So whenever I becomes 0, 0 not equals to 3, so it will print the I value of I. So again, the value of I becomes 0, it will print the value of 1. Next time I value becomes 2, it prints the value of 2. And lastly, I value becomes, not lastly, like whenever I value becomes 3, this condition will be satisfied. Since I am passing this statement, so it will do nothing, and then it will print the value of 3. So up to 4. So here I have given the range of 4, right? So it will execute the I value. It will print the values of I up to 3. Means this range will go up to 3 only. So similarly, if you can see the example in while loop. So here initially I have initialized the value of I to 0. And then I have give the condition where I less than 4. So I want to check this condition up to the value of I becomes 4. Value of I becomes less than 4. So similarly, here inside this while loop, I am checking if the y value becomes 3, I am passing the statement, and then I am executing or printing the value of y, and then lastly, I am incrementing the. Then lastly, I'm incrementing this. Value of y. So here, initially, I value becomes 0. So 0 less than 4. In this condition, it will check. So this condition will not be satisfied, and then it will print the value of 5 as 0. And then it increments the value of I to a value from 0 to 1. So next time I value becomes 1, prints the statement and increments the value to 2. Again, the I value becomes 2. Again, the I value becomes 2. checks the condition, check condition will not be satisfied, will bring the value of 2, and then it will increment the value of 2 from 2 to 3. Again, the value, now this time the condition becomes, I value becomes 3, 3 less than 4. So here 3 value becomes equals to 3, and it will pass this condition, and then lastly it will bring the value of 3, and then again it increments the value of I from 3 to 4. So next time when it checks this condition, 4 less than 4 condition becomes true. So now the flow of the program gets ended here. So this is how the pass statement will work. So we have done with seeing statements of control statements in loops. And we have seen the types of control statements in Python. And we have also seen their examples along with working of individual statements in for loop as well as while loops. Of course, we can make use of these statements in nested loops and infinite while loops. Whatever the loops we're going to use, we can make use of all these statements everywhere.
So that's all for today. I hope you like this session. If you have any doubts, feel free to post them in the comment section. We'll definitely answer your questions, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, goodbye, and enjoy programming.